Today we get to talk about track and field, and I'm excited because it's a sport that doesn't get enough coverage unless you're an Olympic champion. And I ran track. I think you did some field. So we're experts on track and field when you put us together.
Track and field. That's us, man.
All right. This is the John Millea. It's the John Millea Show. It's Preps Today with John Millea, which is also the John Millea Show. This is our prep sports show at talknorth.com. Best way to listen to this show or any other show you like at our growing network. Subscribe to your favorite podcast app. It's free. It's the easiest way to listen. We're coming to you from the Aquarius Home Services studio. I want to thank our sponsors, Pizza Barn in Princeton, with one of our favorite people, Jody Stay, the proprietor and owner, and also Bay to Bay Boat Club. Check them both out. We do appreciate it. Let's start with track and field excitement, John.
Yeah, Jim, good to be back here with you. Last Friday night was the annual Hamlin Elite Meet. I think I've only missed that. Well, I missed it this year. I'll explain why. I think I've missed it once before. It's been going for 16, 18 years, I think. And it's a great meet, but the weather's usually bad. It's at night. It's a lot of times it's cold. It seems like rain is a constant. It was a little chilly, a little wet Friday night. I wasn't there, but it's just a fantastic meet. It's a great concept that the folks at Hamlin put together. Basically, in every track and field event, boys and girls, regardless of school size, they take the best, basically the top 8 or 9 in every event, are invited. For the 100 meters, I think they take 16. That's the only event there are any prelims. So basically every event is a final. You got the best in the state. And here's my excuse for not being there Friday night. It's a good excuse, at least in my eyes. Our son, our daughter-in-law, our 2 grandkids who live in Northern California, they were in town for kind of a long weekend. So the Hamlin Elite Meet, I missed it. I have no regrets. That's the best reason I can think of. But I'll tell you what, Jim, to have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old in our house was pretty stinking wild. We know what we're in for. They've been here before. We've been to their house. It's disruptive. It's fantastic. It's fun. The amount of sleep goes down, but that's okay. And we took the kids to the zoo. We took them to the Mall of America, to the aquarium, to Nickelodeon, the universe, whatever it's called. We had a bunch of other relatives over to our house for dinner one night, had a house full of people. And my neighbor, Ray, who's a retired guy, he looks like Santa Claus. He saw we had a house full of people. My neighbor, Ray, brought over 2 jars of his homemade pickles. So that was pretty awesome. Way to go, Ray. But
I love homemade pickles.
That was great because some of my relatives were standing in a room and somebody said to me, "Hey, there's a guy in your backyard wandering over here." And if you don't know Ray, Ray can wear the bib overalls and he looks like Santa. He's got the big beard and long hair. And I said, "Oh, that's Ray. I wonder what he's bringing us." And he said to me, I'm out on the deck. You guys want some pickles? So we had homemade pickles from my neighbor Ray. But getting back to the elite meet, this was a good meet. There were some great performances. The biggest headline was a new state record in the boys 400 meters. Senior from Apple Valley, Dwayne Smith Jr., he won that event 46.93 seconds. Like I said, an all-time state record. The previous mark was 47.18 by Quinn Evans from Mounds View in 2007. So that record had stood for a long time. The young man from Apple Valley also won the 200 meters, so we know he can move. One of the most intriguing events to me was the girls' 100 meters. The elite meet champion was a 9th grader named Bryn Bakken from Hills Beaver Creek, which is a tiny school in the extreme southwest corner of Minnesota. I've been down there a couple times. I watched Bryn at 1 or 2 meets last spring down in that part of the state when she was just an 8th grader, and she was pretty dominant. Now she's really ramping it up. So she finished 5th in her heat in the 100. They have prelims, like I said. So, you're barely making it to the finals. You finish 5th, but then she blew away the field. And to see a kid from a tiny school running against talented kids from giant, suburban schools, it's a pretty cool thing to see. So I'm gonna hopefully look at the Hills Beaver Creek Patriots. So I already have looked at their track schedule. I'm gonna try to get down there at some point and talk to Brandon or coaches and write about her. And then another small school winner at the elite meet was a young man named Sam Snitker. I don't know where he goes to school, but he's in the co-op team. That's known as Gimlocks. So there are kids from Grand Meadow, Leroy Ostrander, Kingsland, and Southland. So all these four school districts have one track team in small towns. That's what you have to do. So Sam, he won the boys high jump at the elite meet. He PR'd 6 feet 8 inches, which is a great height. And so, I mean, that marks him right now as the top high jumper in the state. He's a senior. But what's really amazing, Sam was never a track athlete until a year ago. He was a baseball, golf, I think, kind of guy. So he's going to be a college high jumper, and he doesn't even have 2 full seasons in yet. He came out for the track team after the season started a year ago. So here he is already. His very first jump in competition, he went something 6 feet or a little over. That was the school record. That was the team record. So he goes 6'8", a PR at the elite meet, and is not even his second full year as a track athlete. So it was a great meet. I wish I'd have been there. Like I said, I had a good reason, but they really do things right at the elite meet, and to see state records and small school kids win, it's really a fun event.
That's such cool stuff. And by the way, the whole thing about, hey, somebody's in your backyard walking over here, it's amazing, John, and we're going to do the old guy thing here because we're old guys. But remember when we were growing up, it was like, oh, somebody's coming to the door. Oh, it's good that we have that couch that only guests can sit on, and we have the candies that only guests can eat, and the special foods that only guests can eat. And my God, somebody's visiting our house. This is an event. We all must put on our fresh clothes. It was a celebration. Somebody's coming to our house. Yes. And now in the modern era, it's like, okay, you get the sawed-off shotgun. I'll get the AK-47. Turn off all the lights. Pretend we're not here.
That's it. Yeah, I remember. My mom would get out like the good dishes that we didn't even know we had. Yes, the good dishes. Yeah, and don't you touch those any other day. But when company's coming over, you bet. That's exactly right. This was a little different. I think some of my relatives, they were just a little uneasy. This guy on a Saturday night, we have woods behind our house. I don't think they were sure he didn't just come out of the woods.
Hey, Santa Claus has to do something in the off season. Right.
Ray is a great neighbor, and the pickles are unbelievable. So way to go, Ray.
That's fantastic. All right, let's get to baseball across Minnesota.
Yeah, this weekend, May 2nd through the 5th, it's designated as Baseball Across America by the Minnesota High School Baseball Coaches Association. Basically, it's a celebration of the game on all levels with a philanthropic aspect too. People who go to some of these games, they're going to be able to buy exclusive Baseball Across Minnesota apparel, with proceeds going to ALS and Ataxia research. And the Twins are part of this, and a portion of the proceeds will also go to the Twins Community Fund, which fosters positive impacts through a lot of different great initiatives. This is clearly based on Hockey Day in Minnesota, which is just an unbelievable thing for hockey. So they decided we're going to have 3 days. And this isn't just high school baseball. This is youth baseball, Miracle League. This is everything. It's only going to get better in the years to come. The coaches have done a good job to initially get this off the ground, and it's a neat thing for the sport. And let's wish everybody good weather and lots of fun during these Baseball Across Minnesota events.
I have to apologize. There's some kind of a siren going off in Minneapolis that I'm sure you hear in the background. Hopefully it'll end very quickly.
I can hear. You know what that is, Jim? It's Wednesday at 1:00. We're testing the sirens.
That's what it is. Yes,
they're going off in my neighborhood. They're going off in your neighborhood, and here we are.
Either that, or they finally tracked me down, which is also possible.
That's right. The Suhan alert.
Yes. Hey, I love the title of your next segment here, Millea's Glory Days.
Oh, my own.
See, for me, it would be singular. I wouldn't be able to have more than one. But you have more than one.
Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves here. So this is also baseball related. Something popped up on Twitter over the weekend. My friend Sean Fury, he's a Janesville, Minnesota native, a veteran journalist who lives in New York City, but he's really strongly tied to Minnesota. He does great, fun things on Twitter. Sean is doing research for some folks who are going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame at Janesville Waldorf Pemberton School. And one of them is a legendary music teacher there named Becky Bornicke. Well, Becky Bornicke used to be Becky Weber, and my wife and I grew up with her in our little Iowa hometown, Grettinger, Iowa, 800 people. So Sean was doing research on Becky. In fact, he had texted me to get some background on her, and I was telling this to my wife. And my wife remembered more than I did. They were in the same class a year behind me. And my wife said, "Did you tell Sean Becky was the homecoming queen?" And by God, I forgot about that. So he's doing research on her, but he saw an article that had my name in it. And he posted a couple of screenshots from a newspaper article. I'm guessing this was 1976. The pitcher for the home team, a very young me, had struck out 10 and walked none in a 10-3 win over Armstrong High School. This was apparently, if the story was correct, the first game of the postseason. And my coach was quoted in the story talking about my performance. Here's the quote. "Millea did not throw that hard the first 3 innings. After the 3rd inning, we told him to go out there and throw as hard as he could and make things happen. From the 4th inning on, it was 3 batters up and 3 batters down for Armstrong." Close quote. So that is some good coaching. Hey, you're the pitcher. Throw the ball hard. So it took him 3 innings to get that through my head. Jim, I have absolutely no memory of this game. I don't remember ever playing Armstrong in baseball. They weren't in our conference. They weren't that far away, but in the playoffs, you're going to play. I have one game I do remember, and in the discussion on Twitter, I replied with this quote, "I once threw a no-hitter against the hard-swinging Terrell Tigers and only walked 11. That one I remember. In a 7-inning game, I didn't give up a hit, but I walked 11. I'm not sure we won that game when I threw a no-hitter. But
John, I still am impressed. I mean, 10 strikeouts and a no-hitter. I mean, yeah, I never did anything like that.
That might be fake news. That might be, I don't know. The clipping is there. I think it's from the Esterville Daily News in Esterville, Iowa, which is just south of Jackson and Fairmont. It wasn't my little hometown paper. It was too professionally written and put together. But yeah, so Glory Day, maybe, I don't know.
I don't know. I'm impressed.
But it was fun to relive the memories I don't even have.
And imagine if after one of your all-star outings, you got to go celebrate at the Pizza Barn.
Oh, that's what we needed. That's what we needed. Yeah, the Pizza Barn, downtown Princeton. We all know about the Pizza Barn. We were there a few weeks ago to do a show. It's great. And we are now in May. We're talking on May 1st. The pizza of the month for May has arrived at the Pizza Barn in Princeton, but it needs a name. They don't have a name for it. This is kind of cool. If you go to the Pizza Barn Facebook page, you can look at the description of this pizza and offer your suggestion for what to call it. Here's the description. It has a cream cheese, sour cream base, jalapenos, bacon bits, jalapeno cheese curds, and freshly shredded mozzarella. After it's baked, they add jalapeno poppers to the top. This thing is going to have some kick. So go to Facebook, search for Pizza Barn, look at that. There's a picture of it. It looks fantastic. Post your ideas for a name. And also make sure to stop in and get that pizza of the month throughout May at the Pizza Barn. And we have breaking food truck news. The Pizza Barn food trucks are ready to roll. It's spring. It's almost summer. When Princeton Speedway gets going this year, the Pizza Barn food trucks are going to be there. So starting May 10th, that's the first day, the food trucks will be there at Princeton Speedway. Starting May 10th, race fans will be able to enjoy all that good stuff from the Pizza Barn when they're at the races. And thanks again to our good friend Jody Stay, everyone on her crew at the Pizza Barn. They do phenomenal service to the community, phenomenal food, pizza, and a lot more. And we can't thank them enough.
Thank you, Jody. We do appreciate it. Also want to thank one of our newer sponsors across the TalkNorth.com platform, Bay to Bay Boat Club.
Bay to Bay Boat Club offers a limited number of season-long memberships in our private club and half-day or full-day pontoon boat rentals on Lake Minnetonka. Members have the opportunity to play on luxurious pontoon boats, as well as a variety of well-appointed deck boats, speedboats, and offshore boats. Our daily pontoon boats are deluxe, custom-built boats with many amenities and comfortable seating for up to 14 people. Beta Bay Boat Club, Country Club Boating, 24 years in business, and voted Minnesota's best 3 years in a row. Please visit us at betabayboatclub.com for more information. We look forward to welcoming you this summer.
All right, let's get to Robot Alert. I did not expect this as a heading for today.
The robots are coming back. We've got a state championship event on Saturday here at Williams Arena. This is the high school league's state robotics tournament day. It's a long, fun day of robotics. It's at Williams Arena. That has become the home for state robotics. Things start with qualifying rounds at 8:30 a.m. It'll be done about 5:30 with a really cool awards ceremony. The same awards, the same trophies and medals that go to every other state tournament teams that win. And this event is free. Anybody can just walk into Williams Arena. There are no tickets. And I'm telling you, I don't know what the weather's going to be like Saturday, but if it's a rainy day and you want to take the kids, if you have young kids, this is the place. It's a rocking thing. I don't even know how to describe it, Jim, unless you've seen it. It's not like any other high school activity. There is music all day long. There are flashing lights. Kids are dancing in the aisles. There's costumes. Robotics is such a cool deal. And the one thing I really like about it is teams compete with other teams for every round. Basically, there's a big, like a basketball court-sized competition floor surrounded by plexiglass, and the robots are out there being controlled by their controllers at the end of the court. But it's three teams grouped together against three different teams on the other end of the court. And with every round, the combinations change until we get to the later rounds. So when you have a state championship in robotics, it's teams from three different schools. And it's really neat. They pose for pictures together. It's really cool. Like I said, this is a really fun family event. You know, you walk into Williams Arena with your kids, stay all day if you want, spend an hour or two. It's just a blast. The concessions are going. It's really fun. So state robotics Saturday at Williams Arena.
I love it. Great stuff. All right, let's thank another underappreciated aspect of Minnesota sports, high school sports and activities, which is a band. Let's thank a band.
We're going to pay respect to all the great band directors, teachers, and students out there. This one is focused on Spring Lake Park High School. There was a tweet this week that I thought was fantastic. I retweeted it. They had photos celebrating all the seniors at Spring Lake Park who've been involved in music in their high school days and plan to continue to be involved in music when they go off to college, whether that's a college pep band, a concert band, a marching band. That's awesome to see. They had a designated music signing day, which is so cool. You know, we're all used to seeing future college athletes honored with signing ceremonies. That's great. And for years, I've pushed the idea of holding these kind of signing ceremonies for kids who plan to become teachers. And here at Spring Lake Park, they did the same thing for all these musicians. They're all pictured holding their instruments. It's just great. So well done, Spring Lake Park.
Yes, good stuff, and thank you for highlighting that. All right, let's wrap up today's show with John's most valuable teammate of the week. Once again, we appreciate you listening to TalkNorth.com. Go to TalkNorth.com. You'll find all kinds of outdoor content from Ron Shara production people. You'll find the best sports lineup in town. John Krasinski on the Wolves is hot right now. Also highly recommend Roy Smalley, Lavelle Neal, and myself on the Twins on the Chin Music Show. Russo on hockey. Jeff Diamond, the former Vikings general manager, on the Vikings. Don Mitchell's new show has been great. Lindsey Young from Vikings.com was on this week. Check it all out. We do appreciate it. And if you like it, tell somebody about it. We do appreciate it. So let's wrap today's show up with John with the most valuable teammate.
Yes, sir. Anika Hotleveg is a senior basketball player at New Prague. I might be pronouncing that last name wrong. I apologize. Anika suffered 2 ACL injuries and wasn't able to compete in this winter in her senior year, but she was nothing short of amazing all season. She took the initiative every day, asked to help wherever possible. During games, she talked to every girl who came out gave positive encouragement to all of them. Her positivity and engagement are models for her peers to follow. Congrats to Annika Hotleveg of New Prague on being a most valuable teammate.
Good stuff. What a great variety today. Track and field, robotics, baseball, John Millea's glory days, robots, band, MVTs. Great stuff from John. Thanks so much, John. Thanks to everyone who listens. We do appreciate it. For John Millea, I'm Jim Suhan, and this is TalkNorth.com.